Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Yeti from Earth to Plates, and today we're starting off in the garden. It was a beautiful hot day, and we started off with harvesting the cabbage. We got 5 heads. 4 of them were beautiful heads, nice and tight and full. One was not the fullest, but still good cabbage. And then we are also harvesting some celery that I am preserving. I didn't show that on camera, but I did blanch the celery stems and I just bagged those up and I put it in the freezer to use for soups or for any other dish that needs celery. If it gets cooked down, then this is good. And then with the leaves, I dehydrated those and I'm gonna use them just like I would a parsley flake to put on top of salads or on top of dishes that I want to add a little bit of that celery flavor. And I think I will enjoy having that in my pantry. So this is our cabbage that we've harvested. We've got 5 heads, 4 that are really heads. One is like just a few cabbage leaves. I harvested 1 broccoli that just put on the first head so that it can promote a bunch of new broccolis to form. This is not really edible. I might just throw it to the animals, but for now it's going in here. And oh, it's a hot one today. Remember to hydrate. Okay. Now that I have harvested the cabbage, we'll be able to remove this hoop over here. So I'm gonna first go close up the net on the other side. I already did it on this side. Once it's all closed up, I'll take out the hoop and we'll go harvest the celery. This tag here is from the cabbage, and if you can read it, it says here it was started on March 17. March, April, May, June, July. This took 4 months to make the cabbage. This is exciting to be able to harvest stuff that we've worked 4 months to produce. Okay. Now this hoop can come off. I'm going to put these clips onto other hoops. And this can come out. Now all these are a few sticks that are flexible with some connectors. And this will go away. I'll probably wash it up off camera and it'll go away for next year. Okay, now let's go over to the celery. Let's see. Okay, I have another basket here. This will be for the celery. And all we'll do is I'll take all the leaves in one plant, bunch it together, and just cut it off. Let's see, there's some more over here. I think I'll let that one grow some more. The celery, even though it doesn't say it on the seed packet, is cut and come again. So if you have a celery plant, don't be afraid to harvest it like that. Leave some in the ground. I'll show you guys a little bit closer. And it'll regrow. So guys, if you cut down, and can you see how I just left a little bit down here? This is all you want, and it'll grow back. Let's harvest the rest of the celery. And because I cut it, they're also becoming nicer and bigger stalks. This is the second time we're harvesting celery. I already harvested once when I made a chicken soup. And that is one of the best chicken soups I've ever had. The celery is so delicious in there. I was telling you guys that the celery that I harvested in the past, I made a chicken soup with it, and it was delicious. Well, to update you guys, the celery that I harvested on this day, and I blanched and froze, I used in a chicken soup this week. And I used squash from the garden for the soup as well. And it was seriously the best chicken soup ever. The flavor was unparalleled. We now got a basket full of celery. This is exciting. We're gonna go in and we're gonna preserve this. This here is a weed, it can come out. Also this mint here, it's regrowing beautifully. We're gonna come out later this week, we're gonna make a mojito slushy. And mint tends to brown, just like basil. So we're gonna come out the day that we're gonna make it. I'm excited for that. We're gonna have some delicious stuff this week. And I'm gonna show you a few of them, how I prep it, make it, and I'll tell you what they taste like. Thank you, garden, for these delicious celery and cabbage. See you next time. Here we are making the marinade for the beef. We're starting with 2 cups of fresh basil. We're adding a 1/3 cup of avocado oil, or oil of choice, 1/4 cup of rice vinegar or cider vinegar, 1/4 cup of coconut aminos or soy sauce, 2 cloves of garlic, 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, and 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt. This marinade is delicious on beef, chicken, or even on fish. Now we're going to blend this up until I like the consistency of it. Okay, let's give this a taste test. Oh, that's delicious. Wow. That's going to be good. Okay. So now we're going to move that away. I have a bag here. I have flipped over the top. I'm going to pour the marinade into the bag. So I got 2 packs of sandwich steak here. I'm going to open this up. I'm going to put it in here. Now we're going to close this up. And I'm going to separate the meats and get the sauce to cover all the pieces so that it can marinate properly. I'm going to open it up, and now I'm going to let most of the air out. Now this I am prepping for a different night, so it's going to go into the freezer until we're ready. So I'm going to lay it flat so that it can defrost faster, and as it's defrosting it'll also marinate, so double duty. I'm going to put this into the freezer, and when we are ready to make this for dinner, I'll show you how we cook it up. Hey guys, welcome back to my kitchen. Today we're going to make pan-fried vegetable dumplings, and we're going to start by prepping the vegetables, and then once I'm done prepping all this, we're going to move over to the stovetop and we're going to start cooking these. Now we're going to start with a medium onion that we're going to dice up. we're gonna dice up these shiitake mushrooms as well. The cabbage will get shredded. This is one of the cabbages from our garden. I'm gonna shred up the entire thing. Whatever we don't use now is gonna get put away in the fridge for another time. And then we have carrots that we're gonna shred up as well. So let's go ahead and get prepping. Okay, now that we have all these vegetables prepped, we're gonna move over to the other side and we're gonna start actually cooking down these vegetables. Okay, we have the wok here heating up. We're gonna add in 2 tablespoons of oil. The recipe calls for vegetable oil, so that's what we'll be using. Vegetable or canola, it's interchangeable pretty much. We're going to let this heat up a little bit over a medium-high heat. And we're going to start by adding the onions. Now that this is becoming translucent, we can add the mushrooms. We'll let this go for 3 to 5 minutes. And what we're looking for is we want all the liquid from the mushrooms to evaporate and the mushrooms itself to start browning. Okay. The mushroom is already browning, so we're gonna add some freshly ground black pepper for taste. I'm gonna mix this in. And now we're going to add in our half a cup of shredded carrots and the half a cup of shredded and 1 cup of shredded cabbage. And this is cabbage from the garden. We're going to mix this in and we're going to let this go until all the vegetables are nice and tender. So this is done already. I'm going to turn off the heat. We're going to go back to the counter. I'm going to show you what we're going to do next. Okay, so we're going to put the vegetables into a bowl. And then we're going to add a teaspoon of sesame oil, 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, a tablespoon of soy sauce, and 2 tablespoons of regular oil. And we're going to mix this all together and we're going to let it sit on the counter until it cools. This is ready. We're going to let it sit on the counter now, cool off, and then we're going to make these into dumplings. Okay guys, we're back. This has completely cooled. Now we have to create the actual dumplings. Now the recipe calls for dumpling wrappers. I couldn't find them in my store, so I'm using these wonton wrappers. Let me open up this package and let me show you how I'm going to fill these. Okay, I got a pan here that we're going to put our ready dumplings to rest in here until we're ready to cook them up. And I've got the wonton wrappers here for us dumpling wrappers. Okay, we're going to put one down on the counter. Let me adjust the angle a bit. We're going to get a heaping teaspoon of the vegetables, put it in the center. Now get your finger wet and go around the entire edge to create a good seal. Now the way I like to close these is to start at the center and work my way down the sides. And with this, patience is key. Once you have a good seal, it's good. You can just put it into the pan and it's ready to go. Let me show you guys another one. Let's try putting the water first. It'll make it easier, maybe. Worth a try. Experiment. Heaping teaspoon of the filling in the center. And then close it up. I'm going to show you guys one more. Okay, I'm gonna do this with the rest of it, and then I'll show you guys when we go to cook it how we do that. This will actually also have a dipping sauce for when we eat it. So I'm gonna show you guys when I'm done with this. I'll show you the dipping sauce. We'll make that together, and then I'll show you when we're ready to cook, or when we're ready to eat dinner, how we cook this up. But this is something that is definitely worth to prep ahead. Okay, now that I have made an entire layer of this, I don't want to, when I make more, stack them directly over these, because then it will stick to each other. So I cut a piece of parchment paper here, and I'm going to lay it down, and we're going to do the rest of them on top of this. So we finished all the filling, nothing left in there. We're gonna cover this pan, put it in the fridge until we're ready to cook it up. I'm gonna clean up here, and we'll come back and make the dipping sauce for this. For the dipping sauce, we're gonna start with, the recipe calls for 1 scallion thinly sliced. These are from the garden, so they're small. So I grabbed a few. I'm gonna cut off the dry bits at the end. I'm gonna cut off the root. And we're gonna mince 1 garlic. And now we're going to mince the garlic. Now in here we'll add 1 teaspoon of maple syrup, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, one teaspoon of rice vinegar, 1 teaspoon of sriracha sauce, half a teaspoon of sesame oil. A little bit more. That'll be fine. Now we're going to mix this together. We're going to let it sit here until we're ready to eat. And this will be the dipping sauce for the dumplings. And now that we have this all mixed together, I'm going to transfer it over to a serving dish. And I'm going to cover this with a piece of saran wrap. Now I can cover it with a saran wrap and it'll go in the fridge until we're ready to eat. Okay, we're almost ready to eat, so I'm going to cook up the dumplings now. I have preheated my cast iron skillet. We're going to add 2 tablespoons of oil. Gonna coat the entire bottom of the pan. Now I'm gonna start dropping the dumplings into the pan. We're gonna put it flat down. I'm gonna try to get the most that we can in here. You can cook them in batches if you don't have a very big pan. I'm just lazy, so I took my biggest one, which is this cast iron, and we're just going to cook it all at once. See how many we can get on here. And this is how many we're going to make. I have a few left. Those will go back in the fridge. I will probably freeze it actually. I think I'll put it into the freezer right away and we'll have it for next time. Now we're going to let it cook like this for, let me see, 2 to 3 minutes. These are starting to get some nice color on them. It's been about 2 minutes now. Yeah. So we're going to add some water to the bottom just to coat the bottom of the pan. And now we're going to let this cook for 5 minutes. In just a couple seconds, you'll see that I'm struggling to remove these dumplings from the pan. Now, my mistake here is that I used my cast iron skillet because I wanted to fit in the most possible, because I was lazy to do it in batches. Don't do like I did, and rather do it in a smaller non-stick skillet and have it all come out easier and do it in batches. Now, I didn't cook up all of the dumplings at this time. The rest of it I had put into the freezer and I cooked it up a different day. And those I did in a non-stick skillet and they came out perfection. Now, I didn't record it. I regretted it after. I was like, oh, I should have showed you guys how it came out better in a non-stick skillet. I am planning to make this again. If I still manage to make it before this video goes live, I'll include a clip at the end of how I cooked it up. But if not, then we love dumplings and I'm still going to make dumplings again. I have a delicious sweet potato one that I make in the fall or in the winter. So I'll show you guys next time I make dumplings how to cook it up properly, because this was not it. We learned now, don't overstuff your pan. Struggling to remove them because they're sticking to each other. Don't be like me. Don't overstuff your pan. Rather work in batches. So I actually learned 2 things here. Number 1, use a non-stick skillet so that you can easily remove it. Number 2 is don't overstuff the pan, because as it's cooking, the wrappers will want to stick to each other, especially if it's even just slightly overlapping. It'll stick and it'll be almost impossible to separate. So, 2 lessons here. Learn from me, but don't learn this from me. Do better. I have it here in a tray with a dipping sauce, and this will go on the dinner table and everybody can eat from the center plate. So now that the dumplings are done, we can head outside and start grilling our meat. This has been defrosting for a few hours in the fridge. And now we can head outside and grill it. I preheated the grill to medium-high heat, and we're just pulling the meat out of the marinade, putting it directly on the grill. And I didn't finish grilling these because I went inside and I made the mint mojito, which I forgot to show you guys, but it is coming up in another video. So you're going to see how I'll make it. If you want to see that, subscribe to my channel and you'll hit the bell. You'll be notified when I upload new videos. And so I don't know how long this was grilled on each side, but midway it was flipped over, and when it was done, it was removed from the pan. And this was so beyond delicious that not even a single piece stayed. It was the first thing to disappear. I was sure the dumplings was going to be first because we love it so much, but the meat was actually gone in just seconds. It was really well loved by everyone that we had over at this dinner. Hey guys, so dinner is ready. As you can see, everybody's outside devouring the food and saying it's delicious. This I already tasted because it comes with a dip. I didn't want to take it away from everyone. So I just came inside here to record this. So this is really good with a dip. I'm gonna taste this now, the meat. So good. This I already tasted earlier as well. It's watermelon with mint and lime juice. Really refreshing. And here we got a mojito slushie. Cheers. I forgot how much I like mojitos. Really good. Thank you so much for watching, stopping by my channel. I would really appreciate if you can hit the like button, hit subscribe, and I'll see you at the next one. So as promised guys, I told you I'm going to show you how I make the dumplings in a non-stick skillet without overpacking it. So I already put it in here and I let it fry first on high heat for 2 to 3 minutes. I added some water. Now we're letting it steam on low for 5 minutes. And then we're gonna remove the lid and increase the heat again to medium high and let it brown for another 2 to 3 additional minutes. So I'm gonna show you guys once this comes out of the pan what it looks like when cooked properly. So this is what they should be looking like, really. Look at the second side. So good. It's nice and soft and chewy, but yet crispy on one side, totally crispy on the other. Inside is delicious, and we got our dipping sauce right here. Now this is still too hot to taste with you guys, but I'm telling you this is Delicious.